Welcome to the Mr. Boston Official Video Bartender's Guide. During the next hour, you'll learn valuable information which will enhance your home bartending skills. You know, entertaining is meant to go with good times and good friends. So is the Mr. Boston Official Video Bartender's Guide. Complete and concise, we'll show you how to mix drinks, chill glasses, open wine, serve champagne, and prepare garnishes. There will be tips on essential bar tools, glassware, on measuring, stirring and shaking, plus recipes for exciting drinks and great holiday beverages. We'll take you to San Francisco, Chicago, and Waikiki Beach, to the Great Southwest, Boston, and New York, where some of America's master mixologists will show you how to make their favorite drinks. All that and much, much more is coming up right now, and you are about to become a more knowledgeable and professional home bartender. So that you can make maximum use of the information in this guide, we've included a table of contents with video page numbers. They correspond to numbers which will appear in the lower left-hand corner of the screen as the guide progresses. Those numbers point out important pieces of information and recipes. Now, while we offer some viewing tips, here is the table of contents. Once you've found what you are looking for in the table of contents, use the search button on your tape machine to visually scan the tape for the video page number you desire. If you want more time to study the table of contents or would like to write down a recipe, then use the pause button on your tape machine to freeze the image. We recommend viewing the entire tape first to become acquainted with all the information it contains. Then you can go back, as you wish, for a more thorough look at the segments you want to study. A drink worth mixing is worth mixing well, and these are the tools of the drink mixer's trade. But you don't need to convert your home into a bartender's laboratory in order to become a successful mixologist. A few basic items will stand you in good stead for whatever drink you are called upon to make. First things first, get the can or bottle open. You'll need a good sturdy can opener and one for bottles as well, or one combination opener if you'd rather. There is a wide variety of corkscrews to choose from these days. The right one to have is the one you feel most comfortable using. You may want to own several. An easy-to-use model if it's been a rough day, or the standard corkscrew if you're feeling traditional. For drinks that require a gentle stir or two, you can use a standard iced tea spoon, or if you prefer something more professional, a stirring rod. For those drinks which are stirred by your guests after they have been served, individual decorative stirrers are a nice touch. If you're not stirring a drink, you'll probably be shaking it. So get yourself a shaker or a good mixing glass, which used with a regular drinking glass does the same job. For any drinks that are made with ice but served straight up or are shaken, a coiled-rimmed strainer is a handy thing to have. When stirring or shaking won't do, bring on the blender. It's a simple and effective way to make just about any frozen drink you'd care to create. For drinks which call for fruit garnishes, such as twists, wedges, slices, or peels, a good paring knife is essential. If you want to give your garnishes extra flair, you may find a zester useful. A jigger is to a home bartender what measuring cups are to Julia Child, and just as important. Remember, a good drink is one that is accurately poured, and only experienced professional bartenders should free pour spirits. For party giving, an ice bucket and tongs are invaluable if you don't want to spend your evening making endless trips to the ice tray and trying to keep your fingertips defrosted. It's also handy for intimate evenings when you want to keep a bottle of wine chilled. Remember what we said about the jigger? Well, the same goes for measuring spoons. They're just as important for proper mixing and much easier to gauge with than regular kitchen spoons. Fresh juice can make the difference between a good drink and a great drink. You don't need a fancy juicing machine. A hand juicer will do the trick, and the results are well worth the effort. Well, we've given you the basics. You may have most of these items on hand already. Whatever you're missing should be easy to find and inexpensive to purchase, so indulge yourself and do a little shopping. After all, styles of clothing may change, but a well-equipped bar is forever. Chicago, the Windy City, a place where people like to meet and drink with open hand and open heart. And on Division Street, more people have met and drunk at Butch McGuire's than almost any other bar in the city. And with good reason. It's big, it's friendly, and it's innovative. Bob Thielen is one of Butch McGuire's premier bartenders, and he'll let you in on some of the special ingredients that make Butch McGuire's so popular.
One of the most popular beverages of Butch McGuire's is the Bloody Mary. In fact, Butch was the first one to garnish his Bloody Mary with celery. The way we make the Bloody Marys at Butch McGuire's is first take a squeeze of lime, moisten the rim of the glass with the lime, and dip it into the celery salt. Add your ice. Pour the vodka. And add the Bloody Mary mix. And of course, garnish with celery. Sours can be prepared in a variety of ways. We're going to make the traditional whiskey sour. Ice the glass, take the blending cup, add in a little bit of crushed ice, pour your 1 ounce of whiskey, and add to that 3 ounces of sour mix. Then blend until the cocktail is frothy and thick. Garnish with a cherry. The mint julep is a traditional springtime beverage. The first Saturday of May is Kentucky Derby Day, and that's mint julep day. It's a beverage that can be prepared at home with bourbon and mint, and we're going to make that beverage for you right now. We have leaves of mint. We might want to throw in maybe 6, maybe 8 leaves. Add 2 cubes of sugar and 2 teaspoons of water. And with the muddler, you break down the sugar cubes, and as you muddle, you are extracting the juices from the mint themselves. We then add 2.5 ounces of Kentucky bourbon, and muddle some more. Taking a separate glass, adding crushed ice. You take a strainer and strain the beverage into the glass, garnishing with mint. Another traditional cocktail that is made with a muddler is the old-fashioned. And we'll make one of these the old-fashioned way. With your glass, you'll add 2 cubes of sugar, 4 dashes of cherry juice, and 2 dashes of bitter, 1 teaspoon of water. With the muddler, break down the cubes of sugar, then we add 2 ounces of Kentucky bourbon. Muddle a second time to break down the granules of sugar. We add our ice. Splash water on top. A cinnamon stick for flavor. Garnish and a straw. One of America's favorite cocktails is the screwdriver. And what that is vodka and orange juice. Put ice in your glassware. With your vodka, 1 ounce of vodka. To approximately 3 ounces of orange juice. We add the sip stick and garnish with an orange. A variation of the screwdriver is the Harvey Wallbanger. It was invented back at Butch McGuire's in the mid-60s, and it's an easy cocktail to make at home. What it is, it's a screwdriver with a splash of Galliano. To prepare this beverage, fill your glass with ice, pour 1 ounce of vodka, fill the glass with orange juice. We splash Galliano, which is an Italian liqueur. Add our sip sticks and garnish with a cherry. A variation of the Harvey Wallbanger is the Nut Banger. And to make that cocktail, what we do is we substitute nutcracker schnapps for vodka. Watch. We add ice first. Taking the nutcracker schnapps, we pour 1 ounce. Pour the orange juice. Top it off with Galliano. And we garnish with orange and cherry.
As we mentioned earlier, proper measuring is the foundation on which a good drink is built. Guesswork can lead to disaster, not to mention waste. Any good drink recipe gives you the exact amount needed of each ingredient. But in case you're a little hazy on the difference between a dash and a splash, let's break them down in layman's terms. A dash is exactly what it sounds like. That is a drop or two, no more. If you want to be very precise, a dash is 1/6 of a teaspoon. A splash is like a dash, but a little bit more, and usually refers to mixers such as tonic water or club soda. A jigger holds the same amount of liquor as a standard shot glass, which is 1.5 ounces. When a recipe calls for 1 wine glass, it means 4 ounces, which is the ideal amount to pour when serving wine to your friends. To stir or not to stir? That is the question. And when stirring, how much is enough, and how much constitutes beating a drink to death? If you're mixing a pitcher of cocktails, you should stir for at least 10 seconds to make sure all your ingredients are thoroughly blended. On the other hand, drinks made with carbonated mixers are more or less self-stirrers. The bubbles do most of the work, and just a stir or two on the drinker's part will finish the job. And when do we set aside the stirring rod and bring on the shaker? Whenever a drink calls for heavier ingredients, like fruit juices, sugar, eggs, or cream. These are also the drinks that should be poured into the glass through a coil-rimmed strainer to filter out any unwanted pulp, sediment, or ice. Remember, when mixing and pouring, here's the rule of thumb. Ice first, spirits next, and mixers last. San Francisco is almost everybody's favorite city, and many visitors have left their hearts at the corner of Hyde and Beach Street, home of the Buena Vista Cafe. A favorite watering hole for generations of San Franciscans, not even Prohibition could dampen its spirit. And it's been around since 1889. In 1952, the Buena Vista introduced Irish coffee to North America. The Buena Vista serves over 2,000 Irish coffees a day, and Fred Dagnino has made over 1 million Irish coffees at the Buena Vista, and is well on the way to making his 2nd million.
This is the way we make Irish coffee at the Buena Vista, introduced in 1952. First, you heat an Irish coffee glass. The reason I pour piping hot water in a glass is to keep the Irish coffees warm. After the glass is hot, you pour the water out. You then pour approximately 3/4 of a cup of hot coffee. You add 3 cocktail cubes of sugar, which is 1.5 teaspoons. Stir the sugar vigorously until it's totally dissolved. You then pour 1 jigger of Buena Vista Irish whiskey. Take fresh whipping cream, pour it in a milkshake cup, mix it. The secret to getting your whipping cream to float is to buy it at least 48 hours before you're going to use it and store it in your refrigerator. Then whip it to a light frothy texture, pour over a spoon, and you'll have the perfect Buena Vista Irish coffee. Folks, we're now going to make a Black Russian, which is a very simple recipe. Just take an old-fashioned glass, fill with ice cubes. Take vodka, about 1.25 shots. Kahlua. Stir it. And it's ready to go. Next, we're going to make a White Russian, which is a Black Russian with a float of whipping cream. It's the same procedure. An old-fashioned glass, fill it with ice cubes. Again, you take your vodka, pour a good jigger. Then you take your Kahlua again, stir it a bit. And here, we use the same cream as we do for the Irish coffee. That is your White Russian. We're now going to make another popular drink, which is famous at the Buena Vista. It's called the Ramus Fizz. Take a little bit of shaved ice, about a teaspoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon superfine sugar, dash of egg white. Next, you use orange flower water, a dash of it. If you can't get this, the options are a triple sec or a dash of orange juice. Then you take a jigger of gin, pour in a little bit of half and half. You blend it. Just before you finish blending it, add 1 to 2 ounces of soda water. It thins it and also makes it a little sparkly. Then you pour it into your glass and serve it immediately. Wine drinks are popular these days. I'll now show you how to make a very simple wine spritzer. Take a Collins glass, fill it with ice. You then pour approximately 3 ounces of white wine. Bring it to the top with soda. Stir them up. And you garnish it with lemon twist. That is your wine spritzer.
Not far from San Francisco are some of the leading vineyards in North America. The harvest is an exciting time of year. and the process of getting grape to bottle is delicate and complex. But you don't need to be an expert to enjoy the fruits of the vintner's labor. Here is the easiest way to go about opening a bottle of wine. First, with a sharp knife, cut the wrap around the neck of the wine bottle just below the top rim and peel it off. The reason for doing this is to prevent the wine from touching the wrap while being poured, as it could affect the taste. Next, insert the corkscrew and turn it until it is completely inside the cork. Be careful though not to puncture the bottom of the cork. Finally, remove the cork with a steady pull. Don't panic if the cork breaks. Just reinsert the corkscrew and start the process again. If the cork crumbles, pour the wine through a tea strainer into a decanter, then serve. No harm done to the wine or your pride. Glasses such as these don't just make wine look good, they also enhance its taste. Red, white, and rosé wine should be served in an 8 to 10 ounce clear glass that has a large bowl at the base and is slightly tapered at the top. The bowl allows you to swirl the wine, and the tapered top directs the aroma to its proper destination, so your nose knows. Wine should be stored in a cool, dry place. The bottles should be placed on their sides to keep the cork moist. A dried-out cork allows air to enter the bottle and oxidize the wine. If you've opened a bottle of wine and wish to save the remains, red wine will last a few days when recorked, and white wine will keep best when recorked and stored in the refrigerator. You don't need a hard hat and a hydraulic lift to safely and successfully open a bottle of champagne. Despite what you've seen in the movies, you don't want to open champagne with a loud pop and a flying cork. Just take a tip from the Boy Scouts and be prepared. In this case, preparation means making sure the champagne is well chilled before opening. The next step is to wrap a clean white cloth around the neck of the bottle. Then gently undo the wire around the cork. Hold the cork with one hand and with the other, grasp the bottle by the indentation on the bottom. Then slowly turn the bottle, not the cork, until it comes free. With champagne especially, the proper glass is important. Use a fluted glass, which allows the bubbles to continue to effervesce. Remember to pour champagne slowly and into the center of the glass. To enjoy wine and champagne at their best, you should serve them at the proper temperature. When in doubt, ask your wine merchant for advice. Here are some great wine and champagne drinks. To make a wine cooler, over ice, pour red wine. Top it off with 7-Up or lemon lime soda. Stir and garnish with a lemon twist. To make a kheer, fill a glass with 3 ounces of white wine. Add a splash of cassis. Stir and garnish with a lemon twist. A kheer royale is made just like a kheer, except that you substitute champagne for the white wine. To make a mimosa, fill a glass with equal parts of champagne and orange juice. As one of the oldest hotels on Waikiki Beach, the Royal Hawaiian, or as it's better known, the Pink Palace of the Pacific, has a history as colorful as its surroundings. Since its grand opening in 1927, the Royal Hawaiian has entertained princes and just plain folk with equal elan. Waikiki Beach offers white sand, azure waters, and stunning views of Diamond Head. These are just a few of its beauties, and you can view them all in comfort from the Royal Hawaiian's Mai Tai Bar, which is renowned for concocting beauties of its own. Bartender Les Jeremiah will show you how it's done, so get your orchids ready.
Aloha from the Mai Tai Bar in the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. Today I'm going to show you how to make our world-famous Mai Tais. First of all, we load our glasses with ice. The first ingredient we put in is a little orgeat syrup, just a dash of some rock candy, a 1/4 ounce of orange curacao, about 1 ounce of orange juice, followed by an ounce of lemon juice, 1 ounce of light rum, and 1 ounce of dark rum. And the garnishes that go in is pineapple stick, with an orchid, cherry, and a couple mint leaves. Now I'm going to show you how to make a planter sponge. There's many different recipes in the world, but this is how the Royal Hawaiian makes it. First of all, we use a zombie glass. If you don't have one on hand, you can use a Collins glass or highball. And we always load our ice in first. We got cube ice, but you can also use shaved ice. Our ingredients over here is you got 3 drops of Angostura bitters, followed by 2 ounces of lemon juice, a dash of grenadine for the color, squeeze of lime, two shots of dark rum, and we garnish it with little pineapple cherry, orchid, and mint. Now I'm going to show you how to make a couple of daiquiris. First of all, we'll start off with just a regular daiquiri. Fill our blender with shaved ice or crushed ice, about a cup. 2 ounces of lemon juice, 1.5 ounces of rum, and a little rock candy syrup on top, or sugar if you don't have any. Top it off with a pineapple cherry, orchid, and your straw. Basically, there's no difference between a daiquiri and a frozen daiquiri. To make a frozen daiquiri, while it's blending, you keep adding more ice so you can get it thicker. You like to get it like a nice slush. Pour it out into your glass, any glass that you have available. And your garnish for that is a cherry, orchid, and mint. Making a fruit daiquiri is basically the same like regular daiquiri. I'm going to show you how to make a strawberry daiquiri. You can use banana or whatever fruits that you have. Same thing we go, put the shaved ice or crushed ice in your blender. 2 ounces of lemon juice, 1.5 ounces of rum, and then your fruit. Today we're using strawberry. If you don't have fresh strawberries, you can use frozen or whatever fruits you have, banana. The frozen fruit daiquiris are also good as a non-alcoholic drink. Just make it the same way. Only thing, leave out the rum. And we garnish it with little pineapple cherry, orchid, and mint. The pina colada has become one of America's favorite drinks. Here's how to make it. First, we put a little shaved ice or crushed ice in the blender, 1 ounce of lemon juice, 2 ounces of pineapple juice, 2 ounces of coconut syrup,
with 1.5 ounces of rum. Top it off with a little ice. Garnish with a pineapple cherry, orchids, and a straw.
Garnishes enhance a drink, give it visual spice, and what looks good tends to taste even better. If your favorite garnish is a maraschino cherry, here are some ideas that are easy to prepare and may add the final touch you've been looking for. To make wedges, cut a lime or lemon in half lengthwise. Then cut the half into thirds. If you're not going to squeeze the wedge or place it in the drink, make an incision under the peel and place it on the side of the glass. To make a lemon or lime twist, remove a thin layer of rind from the fruit with a paring knife and cut it into strips, trimming the edges. Give it a twist to release its natural fruit oils. Oranges, lemons, and limes can be cut into wheels and placed either in a drink or on a glass. Try taking half an orange wheel, put a cherry in the middle, and skewer with a toothpick for a colorful and easy garnish. Strawberries look lovely atop frozen daiquiris and other drinks. After washing, make a cut at the bottom of the strawberry and perch it on the side of a glass. To make pineapple spears, cut off the top of a pineapple. Next, remove the rough outer skin. Then cut the pineapple into half-inch slices. Cut each slice lengthwise into spears and be sure to discard the core. To make pineapple triangles, cut the pineapple in half lengthwise and cut into half wheels. Then cut each half wheel into triangles. You don't have to come from Dixie to dust a mint leaf. Just press it in sifted powdered sugar and the job is done. Orchids and other flowers are a beautiful way to garnish drinks. Make sure the flowers are non-toxic and rinse before using. When using celery, choose stalks closest to the heart. Wash them thoroughly and trim the ends before using. If you want to quench hunger as well as thirst, this skewer may be just the ticket. Try our combination of a cherry tomato, olives, and a cold-cooked shrimp, or create your own. Garnishes make drinks more beautiful and appetizing, so be creative and have fun. The great American Southwest conjures up images of cactus, majestic mountains, and spectacular sunsets. But that's not all the desert has to offer. In Scottsdale, Arizona, you can quench your thirst at a classy watering hole, Stephen Restaurant. The restaurant was conceived in 1980, the same year its owner Steve Stone won baseball's Cy Young Award as the American League's most valuable pitcher. At Stephen, the best pitchers come filled with margaritas, as bartender Mark Baston will demonstrate.
Here in the Southwest, one of the most popular drinks is tequila sunrise. Very refreshing, especially in this hot climate. Here's how we're gonna make it. We're gonna fill these rock glasses out with some ice. And 1 ounce of tequila. Some grenadine, just a splash. Give it some nice color. And we'll fill it to the top with some good old orange juice. Garnishes, they're gonna be some orange and cherry. Make it look real pretty. Here's your tequila sunrise. Another favorite drink here is the margarita. There are several variations. I'm gonna make the basic one. Here's how we do it. Take a piece of lime. We're gonna rim the glass, give it a nice lime taste and also get it wet. An even amount of salt on that rim. Squeeze that lime in there, drop it. Fill the glass up with ice. Now the ingredients. Tequila, 1 ounce. half an ounce triple sec, and our sour mix. We make our own sour mix here. I'll give you the recipe shortly. If you don't have any sour mix, lemon juice or lime juice is just fine. Just a splash of that. Doesn't take long to blend. And garnish it with a lime wedge. Here's your margarita. Now we're gonna make a frozen margarita. Basically the same drink, except we're gonna be blending the ingredients with ice instead of pouring them over the ice. So here we're gonna do it. Rim the glass again. Nice and wet. As before, 1 ounce of tequila. Half ounce of triple sec. And 1 ounce of our sour mix. Now I'm going to put in a cup and a half full of ice. I put in the ice last because if you put it in first, the liquor goes over it, it'll start to melt it. So now we're going to blend it until the consistency is frozen and slushy. About 7 to 10 seconds. And we're going to garnish it once again with a nice lime wedge. And now we're going to make a frozen strawberry margarita. Exactly the same as the frozen margarita, except, you guessed it, we're going to throw in some strawberries. We start over just like before. Rim the glass with lime. One exception, we're not going to use salt, we're going to use some sugar. Makes it a little sweeter. Drop the lime in there. And we're going to use the ingredients. As before, 1 ounce of tequila. Half an ounce of triple sec. And 1 ounce of our sour mix. I'm going to put in 4 strawberries for each glass. You can also use bananas, pineapple, just about any fruit you particularly like. Blend it for about 7 to 10 seconds, nice firm consistency. Garnish this time, we'll use a nice strawberry. Here's how to make your own sour mix. We're gonna make 2 quarts, but you can cut this recipe in half. In a large jar, add 1 quart of lemon juice, 1 quart of water, add 2 ounces of liquid brown sugar or honey, and 2 egg whites. Shake it up until it's thoroughly mixed, and you've got a perfect sour mix which you can store in the refrigerator. Here's yet another variation of the margarita. We call it the Amarita, a specialty drink that we make at Stephen. The only difference being that we substitute amaretto for triple sec. And basically we're going to add the ice. We use brandy sniffers. You can use any glass you'd like. 1 ounce of amaretto. Half an ounce of tequila. Fill the rest with some lime juice all the way to the top. We garnish it here with some nice wedges of lime and your Amarita. Here's a great summertime drink. It's called Bourbonade. Very refreshing, real easy to make. Let's do it. I'm going to fill these highball glasses with ice. One ounce of bourbon. Fill it to the top with some cold lemonade. Garnish it with some lemon wheels. A few straws. Bourbonade.
There are 5 major types of beer: lager, ale, stout, porter, and bock. The difference between them has to do with 2 main factors: how long the barley malt is roasted, and whether the yeast ferments at the top or the bottom of the tank. Most beers brewed in the U.S. are lagers. All beers, either in cans or bottles, should be stored in a cool, dark place, preferably the bottom shelf of your refrigerator, as beer is extremely sensitive to sunlight. The ideal serving temperature is 45 degrees for beer, 50 degrees for ale and imported beers, and 55 degrees for English or Irish stout. Beer should be poured directly into the center of a glass. This expels carbonation and creates a nice foamy head. There are many interesting regional beers brewed throughout the United States, so be adventurous. Try different kinds of beer on different occasions and with different foods to discover which ones you like best. The right glassware shows a drink off to its best advantage, and there are as many styles of glasses as there are cars. But you don't have to test drive everything on the market to find what works best for you. The 15 different styles we're about to show you can accommodate any drink you'll prepare. Most of these you've seen before: the Collins glass, the standard whiskey glass, a highball glass, and an old-fashioned glass. Going from the basic to the chic, we have the time-honored beer mug, a beer Pilsner glass, an Irish coffee glass, and a parfait glass. Here are some old friends. First, the now familiar red and white wine glasses. Next is a slightly narrower sherry glass. And last but certainly not least, the classic fluted champagne glass. And finally, brandy just isn't brandy unless it's savored from a snifter. Martinis and margaritas are homeless waifs without a cocktail glass. And sours wouldn't be caught in anything but their namesake glasses. Around the holidays, you may want to have some punch cups and coffee mugs on hand too. But again, the key issue here is you and your specific bartending needs. If this little fashion show has been any help, well and good. But if you really prefer to drink your vodka gimlet out of a Flintstones jelly glass, well, we won't tell a soul. Let's hear it for the small but significant ice cube, the unsung hero of any good drink. Unless you live at the Arctic Circle and do all your drinking outdoors, you can't afford to take ice for granted. Ice should be clean and fresh. If you like your cubes clear, then use distilled water in your ice trays. When storing quantities of ice cubes in your freezer, place them in a plastic bag and not in an uncovered bowl. Or you'll end up with the abominable ice blob. When you need crushed ice, you can crush it in a blender or use the more basic method. Put the ice in a towel or cloth bag and pound it with a wooden mallet, which is just as effective and probably more therapeutic. Ice can be more than just frozen H2O. You can make your ice decorative by freezing strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, mint leaves, and lemon or orange rinds in individual cubes. They look especially appealing in clear drinks, like those made with soda and tonic mixers. To perk up a punch bowl, make a floating decorative ice mold with strawberries or cranberries frozen in it, or any other garnish that strikes your fancy. Of course, there's no reason to make your cubes do all the work. You can chill glasses. Just bury them in crushed ice or put them in the freezer for a couple of hours. To frost glasses, wet them and place them in the freezer until a thin layer of ice forms on the surface. One last word. Ice, just like time, is fleeting. So if you're entertaining, have as much ice on hand as you can possibly store. Because when the ice is out, the party's over. Faneuil Hall Marketplace has become one of Boston's most popular attractions and the inspiration for historic renovations around the country. The architect responsible for this renaissance is Ben Thompson. Among his other accomplishments is Ben's Cafe, a favorite outdoor meeting spot at Faneuil Hall. Bartender Jean Famelon contributes to the refreshing style of Ben's Cafe. She's a woman who knows how to teach old drinks new tricks.
Two of America's favorite drinks are vodka and tonic and gin and tonic. You first take your glass, fill it to the top with ice, because when you add your alcohol, the ice does melt. Pour in your vodka or your gin. Add quinine water. Garnish with limes. And you add straws to any drink that has ice in it. Another one of America's favorite drinks is the gimlet. It can be made either with vodka or gin. You add 2 ounces of gin to 1/4 of an ounce of Rose's lime juice to taste. Shake it. Garnish with a lime and add a straw. If you really want to impress your friends, here's a pretty drink that's easier to make than it actually looks. It's made in layers and it's called a pousse café. You begin by pouring the heaviest substance on the bottom of the glass, which is grenadine. You pour in your next layer, which is yellow chartreuse, pouring it down the side of the glass to give it an even distribution so that it floats on the preceding layer. Your next layer will be white cream de mint, followed by green chartreuse, and the last layer is brandy. Here are 3 summertime drinks from New England. They are favorites here at Ben's Cafe. We're going to make a Cape Codder, a Madras, and a Sea Breeze. First, you fill your glass to the top with ice. First, we'll be making a Cape Codder. It is vodka and cranberry juice. It's garnished with a lime, and as always, a straw. The second one is a Madras. It's vodka, cranberry juice, and orange juice. There is no garnish, just a straw. And the third one is a Sea Breeze. It is vodka, cranberry juice, and grapefruit juice. It is garnished with a lime and a straw. Here's a nifty summertime drink. It's called Peach on the Beach. You take your glasses, fill them to the top with ice. You pour in equal amounts of peach schnapps and vodka. And then add cranberry juice and grapefruit juice. Add your straws and refresh yourself. Hot mulled cider is a wonderful drink. It keeps you warm during those long, cold winter months, and it makes your house smell great when you're preparing it in your kitchen. To begin, you have to prepare the cider. In a large pot, you heat 1 gallon of apple cider. You add to it cider spices, which are available at most gourmet shops. And I like to add orange slices, cloves, nutmeg, and lemon rind. Then simmer it uncovered for about an hour. Then after your cider is mulled, this is how you prepare the drink. You take your glass. What I like to do is rim it with an orange. It not only allows the cinnamon and sugar to stick, but it gives it a nice taste as well. Then you pour in an ounce of dark rum and 1/2 ounce of Calvados. Then you add your mulled cider. Garnish with a cinnamon stick, and there you have it. Here in New England, hot chocolate is everybody's favorite drink. Here's a variation. In a glass, you'll pour 1.5 ounces of amaretto. You'll top it off with steaming hot chocolate and add to it freshly whipped cream. Add a straw, and there you go. Yummy.
Holidays are a wonderful time for entertaining and being with friends. What better way to celebrate than with some festive drinks, perfect for the occasion? This cheery eggnog is homemade and flavored with brandy and amaretto di Serrano. Remember, if you want more time to copy this recipe, use the pause button on your tape machine to freeze the picture. What could be more fitting for New Year's than this champagne punch? Garnished with sherbet and strawberries, it's an elegant addition to any gathering. Here's a colorful punch that's right for any occasion. And it can be served with or without spirits. Sometimes it's hard to appreciate all the splendors of New York City when you're standing right smack in the middle of it. The River Cafe is situated across from Manhattan at the base of the Brooklyn Bridge. Many New Yorkers get there by boat, though most come by car. From there, Manhattan looks spectacular, but it's not just the breathtaking view that makes the trip worthwhile. The food and drink are served with traditional elegance and style. Jimmy Caulfield grew up in a section of Manhattan called Hell's Kitchen, where his father ran a bar. Being a second-generation bartender in this town, Jimmy knows his way around a Manhattan and a martini.
One of the drinks most associated with New York is the martini. Now, the martini can be made with either gin or vodka. In this case, I'm making it with gin. I'm also making two variations of the martini, the Cajun martini and the Gibson. Now, you want to put the least possible amount of vermouth that you can. You want to chill the martini as cold as you can get it. We use a metal shaker here to get it colder faster. Stir it up, add more ice, and chill the glasses while you're doing this. Crushed ice works the best in chilling glasses. Keep a bucket under the bar. And now we garnish it. We use olives for the martini, onions for the Gibson, and a jalapeno for the Cajun martini. When you get a nice film of ice on the shaker, it's ready. And if you put too much vermouth in, it's going to come back. So make sure you put the least possible amount of vermouth that you can. With Manhattan skyline in the background, what better drink to make than Manhattan? Manhattan is made with sweet vermouth, and you need a good deal of it. A third sweet vermouth to 2/3 rye whiskey. You want to chill the glasses in crushed ice while you're making the drink. Stir it up, chill it. And the garnish is a cherry.
One of the most popular summer drinks is the old classic Tom Collins. At the River Cafe, we use real lemon juice, 1/3 lemon juice to 2/3 gin, with about 2 teaspoons of superfine sugar. You can also use the pre-sweetened lemon juice that's on the market. Shake it up good, crack the ice well, pour it into a Collins glass, leave it about 1 inch from the top, add a cherry, orange, a stirrer, and top it off with club soda, and you have it. Here's a drink that originated just a few miles from here. It's called the Long Island Iced Tea. There's a variety of ways of making it. Here at the River Cafe, we use 5 liquors, all equal parts. Vodka, gin, rum, tequila, triple sec, lemon juice, and shake it up. Then after you shake it, you add a splash of cola for color. Not only does it resemble iced tea in appearance, but if it's made properly, it actually tastes like iced tea. Garnish it with lemon wedge, as you do with iced tea. There you have it. Here are a few nice amaretto cocktails you may want to try. Godmother, a godfather, and the godchild. Now the godmother is made with vodka and amaretto, equal parts. The godfather is made with equal parts of amaretto and scotch. Now the godchild is made equal parts of vodka, amaretto, and heavy cream. Shake and pour it right over the rocks. There you have it. This is how you make a stinger. 1 part white cream de menthe, 2 parts brandy. Ice in a glass, shake it. Shake it good and hard so the ice shatters. And a chilled glass ready and waiting. And there you have it.
Well, that's all for this edition of the Mr. Boston Official Video Bartender's Guide. Chances are you'll have a trick or two to show us as you become more professional in the months to come. So have fun, good luck, and cheers.